Hello, welcome to FHE on the Road with Christine Stevenson. This podcast is designed to connect the people and the places from the past with your lives today, with 5-minute stories and facts from church history. Save these stories for when you are traveling through these areas to bring history to life. Okay, welcome back to FHE on the Road with Christine. Today we're going to talk about one of my most favorite people from church history. Her name is Mary Fielding Smith. I'm not sure how many people know her or know a lot about her in her life, but she has been one of the most amazing people for me to learn about. I love her. So hopefully you like her too. So Mary Fielding Smith was married to Hiram Smith, who is the brother of the prophet Joseph Smith, and she's also the mother of Joseph F. Smith. So she was around a lot of people that we've heard about, I think. And she's remarkable. She really, truly is amazing. I love her. She was born in Bedfordshire, England in 1801. And along with her siblings, her sister Mercy and her brother Joseph, they immigrated to Toronto, Canada in 1834. The 2 years after moving to Canada, the siblings were introduced to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints by their good friend, John Taylor. I love hearing how people found the church. I love hearing those connections. So yes, John Taylor, the prophet, he is the future prophet. He wasn't the prophet at the time. And he's the one who introduced them to the gospel of Jesus Christ. So I love that. The siblings were all baptized into the church on May 21st, 1836, and moved to Kirtland, Ohio to gather with the rest of the saints. And there are a lot of cool stories about them in Kirtland that hopefully I could get into one day. There's just so many cool stories in church history, so bear with me. I'm trying to get them all recorded. It's a lot. After moving to Kirtland, Ohio, Hiram Smith was newly widowed with young children. And by the suggestion of the prophet Joseph Smith, Hiram started courting Mary Fielding, and the two ended up getting married in 1837. So she was in Kirtland about a year before she married Hiram. And when she was pregnant with her first child, a couple of years later, she was actually pregnant with Joseph Fielding Smith. That is when Hiram was taken to Liberty Jail. And that story is so sad. I am for sure going to do another podcast on that. So Mary and her family suffered so much at the hands of the Missouri mob when Hiram was taken to jail. There was so much sadness happening during those Missouri years. And it was also the time of the extermination order against the saints. So they were coming after the saints, and it was really rough. And you can imagine she's pregnant and sick and what she had to deal with. It was terrible. So Hiram and the others escaped from Liberty Jail, and the family moved from Missouri to Commerce, Illinois, and which later became known as Nauvoo. So they all made it to Nauvoo safe. In Nauvoo, Mary and Hiram had their second child, Martha Smith, and in 1844, Mary's husband Hiram was killed in Carthage jail with his brother Joseph Smith. Oh, and I have some other stories about what happened to Mary's family during that time. Oh, it's so sad. After the death of Hiram and Joseph, the mobs ran the remaining saints, Latter-day Saints, from Nauvoo. But Mary, who had just lost her husband, and they had nothing, and it was a mess and so scary. They were one of the later groups that left Nauvoo. They weren't able to leave right away because you can imagine what they were dealing with. And so they left with that later group that was like, they were the poorest of the poor, and they didn't have a lot of means. So they left, but they were in that group that experienced the miracle of the quail. And that's another one I'm going to record. It is truly amazing how the Lord blesses his saints. So miracle of the quail, that one's coming. Mary and her family were in Heber C. Kimball's wagon company for the journey to the Rocky Mountains. And one of the stories that's a little bit more famous is the blessing of the sick oxen. That is Mary's story. That's Mary Fielding Smith's story. So I am going to record that one too. And then there's one more story from the plains that's so good. And that is, there was a man named Cornelius P. Lott, and he informed Mary that she would not be able to cross the plains and would be a burden to the rest of the company. And she's so awesome. She's like, not only am I going to make it to the plains without your help, I'm going to beat you there. And so I'm going to record that story too. So there's so many good stories from Mary Fielding Smith. Hopefully you're interested in her, in learning more. And I love her. She's so great. At the end of her life, she married into the Heber C. Kimball family, and she was only in the Salt Lake Valley about 5 years before she caught pneumonia and died in 1852. And she is buried in the Salt Lake City Cemetery. So she's amazing. I have loved studying about her. I don't know why I didn't know very much about her before, but she is involved in so many amazing stories, and she was a powerful, strong, determined woman, and I have loved learning about her. And hopefully you like it too. Anyways, that's more about Mary Fielding, and hopefully you're interested in more about her because she's awesome. Thanks. Thank you for listening to FHE on the road today. We hope you enjoyed what you've heard. Please like, subscribe, and share with anyone who'd be interested in these stories. Thanks.